Today's inductees span graduating classes from 1937 to 1999 and represent all the best associated with the long and storied sports history of Derby High. Our first inductee this year is Anthony Marku, class of '99. They say all you have to do is look in the mirror and see your toughest competition. Your big brother is a state champion wrestling pro. Sibling rivalry outweighs any personal goals you may have for yourself. For Anthony, becoming part of the first brother duo to earn induction in the Derby Athletic Hall of Fame is yet another well-deserved and hard-earned achievement. Marku won the Class A-S state title each of his 4 years. It was top 4 in the state open 3 times, winning the championship as a senior. That year, he also advanced to the New England Finals. His 152 wins and 105 pins are school records. After graduation, Anthony went on to earn Freshman of the Year honors at Trinity. Our first inductee, Anthony Marku. Next up is Jim Foley, Derby High School class of 1937. As if playing 4 sports weren't enough, Jim Foley lettered in and was elected captain of each one: football, basketball, baseball, and track. During the spring season, he pitched for the baseball team and competed in the throwing events in track between innings, usually finishing either first or second. His school record in the shot put stood for over 30 years. Foley was also a champion sprinter, winning many 100 and 220-yard dashes, and was an excellent broad jumper. In an era long before specialization became popular, Jim Foley was a living definition of the all-around athlete. His prowess on the track, the field, and the court, mostly under the guidance of Hall of Fame coach Dougie Ryan, helped solidify his status as one of Derby's all-time greats. Accepting for Jim Foley, our nephews, Brian and Ed Quass, both former Derby High School greats, and other nephew, Pat Foley. Jim Foley, class of 1937. Next up, Gary Lucarelli, Derby High School, class of 1969. As a star runner for the Derby track team, Gary Lucarelli excelled in the 100, 220, and relay teams. Winning the majority of his races, Lucarelli sprinted to a top 3 finish in the state meet in the 100, among the best performances in school history. Running was also one of Gary's specialties on the gridiron. His 1,500 career rushing yards was a school record for years. As a 2-year starter, Lucarelli led Derby to consecutive unbeaten campaigns, winning back-to-back Hussey titles and an overall state championship. He's accompanied by Hall of Famer Vince Greco. Gary Lucarelli, Barry Mcdermott, Derby High School class of 1964. At 155 pounds, one wouldn't exactly expect a guy like Barry Mcdermott to be a force in the trenches. McDermott spent his high school career defying and redefining expectations. A 2-year starter at center, Barry was an all-state selection as a senior. McDermott was also a terror on defense. His motto was hit and hate, and he took every opportunity to let the opposition know it. In a scrimmage against Stanford one year, the opposing coach resorted to double teaming in an effort to contain Barry. When even that didn't work, the coach could do nothing more than marvel at what he was watching. Though he was smaller than most of them at his position, none could ever underestimate the size of McDermott's heart and determination. Anyone who did found out the hard way what hit and hate really meant. Accepting for Barry Mcdermott are Kim McDermott and Jim Benanto, co-captain of Barry's 1963 team. Barry McDermott, Derby High School, 1964. Glenn Gattano, Derby High School, class of 1970. As one of the captains of the premier Derby football squad, Glenn Gattano was a leader on both sides of the ball, earning Alvaro Award honors. As a bruising linebacker and game-changing running back, Gaetano was a first-team All-State selection for the state champion '69 Red Raiders. He was a 1,000-yard rusher and often led the team in tackles on defense. Part of his senior class that never lost a football game, Glenn will forever hold a special place in the hearts and minds of Derby fans, as well as the utmost respect of any player or coach who went up against him. He was the prototypical two-way performer, almost like having a second coach on the field. A quiet leader and hard hitter, Gaetano set the tone, and everyone else followed. Glenn Gaetano, Derby High School, class of 1970. Fran Whiskey, Derby High School, class of 1950. Most longtime Derby fans, when asked who the best athlete in school history was, are sure to include Fran Whiskey on their short list of candidates. Wawa, as he was known back then, did it all, and did it well. Fran was the first Derby player to earn all-state honors in basketball, averaging 19 points a game and leading the team to the state tournament. As a star on the gridiron, Wawa scored 7 touchdowns from the tight end position, including the only 2 in a hard-fought 13-all tie against rival Seymour. He also had a pivotal pump block against Sacred Heart, turning the tide and leading the Raiders to victory. Walensky was also a standout for Derby in baseball, leading them in several key categories. Many have tried to follow in Fran's footsteps over the years, but few have had similar impact on Derby sports. His all-around excellence has remained the standard for generations of Red Raiders players and fans alike. Accepting for Fran are his stepson, Craig and Tim Proch. Fran Whiskey, Derby High School, class of 1950. Joe Bonanto, Derby High School, class of 1956, and a familiar name on the other side of the field as well. Among other superlatives, Joe Bonanto was voted by his class as most athletic and the guy having done the most for the school. When you combine the two, you end up with someone who did quite a bit to advance the fortunes of Derby's athletic programs. Joe was a tremendous scorer for the basketball team, averaging 21 points a game as a senior. His total of 323 that year was a school record until fellow Hall of Famer Ken Pereiras came along and broke it in 1971.